Hey there, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to learn some words that might help you improve your English vocabulary and fluency. Before you start, please hit the like button if you enjoy our content, and subscribe to this channel if you're learning English. Stay up to the very end of this video and you'll learn a fun fact about the English language. Let's begin.
The word bake, spelled B-A-K-E. It's a verb. Pronunciation, bake. Synonyms include cook, roast. To bake means to cook food using dry heat, usually in an oven. For example, she decided to bake a cake for the party. So bake means to cook using dry heat in an oven. The word boil, spelled B-O-I-L, it's a verb. Pronunciation, boil. Synonyms include simmer, seethe. To boil means to cook food in hot water. For example, please boil some water for the pasta. So boil means to cook food in hot water. The word broil, spelled B-R-O-I-L. It's a verb. Pronunciation, broil. Synonyms include grill, roast. To broil means to cook food directly under high heat. For example, he likes to broil his steak to make it crispy. So broil means to cook food directly under high heat. The word fry, spelled F-R-Y, it's a verb. Pronunciation, fry. Synonyms include sauté, grill. To fry means to cook food in hot oil. For example, I love to fry some eggs for breakfast. So, fry means to cook food in hot oil. The word grill, spelled G-R-I-L-L, it's a verb. Pronunciation, grill. Synonyms include barbecue, broil. To grill means to cook food on a metal grate over heat. For example, they plan to grill some burgers for the barbecue. So grill means to cook food on a metal grate over heat. The word roast is a verb, spelled R-O-A-S-T. To roast means to cook food, especially meat, in an oven or over an open flame. Repeat after me. Roast. We roast the chicken in the oven for 2 hours. Grate. Roasting helps achieve a delicious, crispy exterior on the food. The word sauté is a verb, spelled S-A-U-T-E. To sauté means to cook food quickly in a small amount of oil or fat. Repeat after me. Sauté. I sautéed the vegetables with garlic. Fantastic. This quick cooking method helps preserve the color and flavor of the vegetables. The word simmer is a verb, spelled S-I-M-M-E-R. To simmer means to cook gently at a temperature just below boiling. Repeat after me. Simmer. Let the soup simmer for 20 minutes. Well done. Simmering is great for soups and stews, allowing flavors to blend perfectly. The word steam is a verb, spelled S-T-E-A-M. To steam means to cook food using the steam from boiling water. Repeat after me. Steam. We steamed the broccoli for a healthy side dish. Excellent. Steaming is one of the healthiest ways to cook vegetables, retaining most nutrients. The word poach is a verb, spelled P-O-A-C-H, means to cook food by simmering gently in water or another liquid. Repeat after me. Poach. She poached the eggs for breakfast. Wonderful. Poaching is ideal for delicate foods such as eggs or fish, giving them a tender texture. The word blanch, B-L-A-N-C-H, it's a verb. To blanch means to briefly boil food, then immerse it in cold water. For example, blanch the vegetables before freezing them. This process helps in preserving the color and texture. Blanching. The word braise, B-R-A-I-S-E, it's a verb. To braise means to cook meat slowly in liquid. For example, braise the beef for a few hours for tenderness. This method makes the meat very soft and flavorful. Braising. The word sear, S-E-A-R. It's a verb. To sear means to quickly brown the surface of food. For example, sear the steak for a nice crust. This technique locks in flavors and gives a nice texture. Searing. The word whisk, W-H-I-S-K, it's a verb. To whisk means to beat or stir with a light, rapid movement. For example, whisk the eggs until they are fluffy. Whisking incorporates air into the mixture, making it light. Whisk. The word stir, S-T-I-R, it's a verb. To stir means to mix or move around with a spoon or similar tool. For example, stir the sauce constantly to prevent it from burning. Stirring ensures even cooking and prevents sticking. Stir. The word mix, M-I-X. Mix is a verb. To mix means to combine two or more substances together. For example, you need to mix the flour and water thoroughly. In summary, mix means to combine things together. The word blend, B-L-E-N-D. Blend is a verb. To blend means to mix smoothly and completely. For example, blend all the ingredients until smooth. In summary, blend means to mix ingredients smoothly. The word fold, F-O-L-D. Fold is a verb. To fold means to gently mix ingredients by lifting from underneath. For example, fold the egg whites into the batter softly. In summary, fold means to gently mix by lifting. The word knead, K-N-E-A-D. Knead is a verb. To knead means to work dough by pressing, folding, and stretching. For example, knead the dough until it's smooth and elastic. In summary, knead means to work dough to make it smooth. The word chop, C-H-O-P. Chop is a verb. To chop means to cut into small pieces. For example, chop the vegetables into small cubes. In summary, chop means to cut food into small pieces. The word dice, D-I-C-E, is a verb. Dice means to chop into small, evenly sized cubes. Let's hear an example. Dice the onions for the sauce. It means to cut the onions into small, even pieces. Remember, it means to chop into evenly sized cubes. The word mince, M-I-N-C-E, is a verb. Mince means to chop food into very fine pieces. Here's an example. Mince the garlic for the recipe. This means to cut the garlic into very tiny pieces. Remember, mince means to chop very finely. The word slice, S-L-I-C-E, is a verb. Slice means to cut into thin, flat pieces. Slice the bread evenly. This means to cut the bread into thin, even pieces. So remember, slice means to cut into thin, flat pieces. The word julienne, J-U-L-I-E-N-E, is a verb. Julienne means to cut into thin matchstick strips. For example, julienne the carrots for the salad. This means to cut the carrots into thin matchstick-like pieces. So remember, julienne means to cut into thin matchstick strips. The word peel, P-E-E-L, is a verb. Peel means to remove the outer layer of something, usually a fruit or vegetable. For example, peel the potatoes before boiling. This means to take off the outer skin of the potatoes. So remember, peel means to remove the outer layer. The word grate, G-R-A-T-E, is a verb. It means to reduce food into small shreds by rubbing it against a grater. For example, in the sentence, please grate the cheese for the pasta, it means to shred the cheese using a grater. Grate, to shred food into small pieces. The word zest, Z-E-S-T, is a verb. It means to scrape off the outer colored part of a citrus fruit. For example, in the sentence, can you zest the lemon for the cake frosting? It means to scrape the lemon peel for the frosting. Zest, to add flavorful grated peel to a dish. The word shred, S-H-R-E-D, is a verb. It means to cut or tear into thin strips or pieces. For example, in the sentence, please shred the lettuce for the salad, it means to cut the lettuce into thin pieces for the salad. Shred, to make thin slices or strips. The word mash, M-A-S-H, is a verb. It means to crush food into a soft, smooth mixture. For example, in the sentence, you need to mash the potatoes before adding butter. It means to crush the potatoes to a smooth texture. Mash, to make food smooth by crushing it. The word purée, P-U-R-E-E, is a verb. It means to blend or press food until it becomes a smooth paste. For example, in the sentence, you can puree the soup for a smoother texture. It means to blend the soup until it is smooth. Puree, to make food into a smooth paste by blending. The word season, S-E-A-S-O-N, is a verb pronounced as C. It means to add spices or herbs to enhance flavor. Remember to season the chicken well before baking. In summary, season means to add flavor. The word marinate, M-A-R-I-N-A-T-E, is a verb, pronounced as marinate. It means to soak food in a sauce to absorb flavor. You should marinate the beef for several hours. In short, marinate means to soak in sauce. The word brine, B-R-I-N-E, is a verb pronounced as brine. It means to soak in a salty solution. It's good to brine the turkey overnight. To summarize, brine means to soak in salt water. The word rub, R-U-B, is a verb pronounced as ru-H-B. It means to apply seasoning to the surface of meat. Rub the spice mix onto the ribs. In brief, rub means to apply seasoning. The word baste, B-A-S-T-E, is a verb pronounced as baste. It means to moisten food with liquid during cooking. Baste the turkey with its juices every hour. To summarize, baste means to moisten with liquid while cooking. The word glaze, G-L-A-Z-E, is a noun. It refers to a coating of a glossy, often sweet substance. Repeat after me. Glaze. Synonyms include icing or coating. For example, she applied a honey glaze to the ham. A glaze is often used to make food look shiny and taste sweeter. Remember, glaze means a shiny coating. The word drizzle, D-R-I-Z-Z-L-E, is a verb. It means to pour a thin stream of liquid over food. Repeat after me. Drizzle. Synonyms include sprinkle or splash. For example, she drizzled olive oil over the salad. You drizzle to lightly cover food with a liquid. Remember, drizzle means to pour lightly. The word garnish, G-A-R-N-I-S-H, is a verb. It means to decorate food with a small amount of different food. Repeat after me, garnish. Synonyms are adorn or decorate. For example, he garnished the soup with parsley. Garnishing makes dishes look appealing and tasty. Remember, garnish means to decorate food. The word plate, P-L-A-T-T-E, is a verb. It means to arrange food on a plate for serving. Repeat after me, plate. Synonyms include dish up or serve. Example, she plated the dish beautifully. Plating is important for food presentation. Remember, to plate means to arrange food. The word serve, S-E-R-V-E, is a verb. It means to present food or drink to someone. Repeat after me, serve. Synonyms include provide or dish out. For example, they served dinner at 8. Serving is an essential part of dining. Remember, to serve means to present food. The word preheat, spelled P-R-E-H-E-A-T, and it's a verb. The pronunciation is preheat. A synonym can be warm up. Example sentence, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. To preheat means to heat an oven to a specific temperature before cooking. The word grease, spelled G-R-E-A-S-E, and it's a verb. The pronunciation is grease. A synonym can be oil. Example sentence, grease the baking pan with butter. To grease means to coat a surface with a fat or oil to prevent sticking. The word line, spelled L-I-N-E, and it's a verb. The pronunciation is line. A synonym can be cover. Example sentence, line the baking tray with parchment paper. To line means to cover a baking tray or pan with a protective layer, such as parchment paper. The word coat, spelled C-O-A-T, and it's a verb. The pronunciation is coat. A synonym can be cover. Example sentence, coat the chicken with breadcrumbs. To coat means to cover food with a layer of a particular ingredient. The word dredge, spelled D-R-E-D-G-E, and it's a verb. The pronunciation is dredge. A synonym can be dust. Example sentence, dredge the fish in flour before frying. To dredge means to cover food lightly with a dry ingredient, such as flour. The word bread, B-R-E-A, is a noun. Pronounce it as bread. A synonym would be loaf. Bread is a baked food made from a mixture of flour and water. For example, she baked fresh bread every morning. Remember, bread means a baked food made from flour and water. The word batter, B-A-T-T-E-R. Batter is a noun, pronounced as batter. A synonym would be mixture. Batter is a mixture of flour, eggs, and milk used to make cakes. For example, she poured the batter into the cake pan. Remember, batter means a mixture used to make cakes. The word score, S-C-O-R-E, score is a verb. Pronounce it as score. A synonym would be cut. To score means to make shallow cuts in the surface of food. For example, she used a knife to score the bread dough. Remember, score means to make shallow cuts in food. The word caramelize, C-A-R-A-M-E-L-I-Z-E. Caramelize is a verb. Pronounce it as caramelize. A synonym would be brown. To caramelize means to cook sugar until it turns brown. For example, she let the onions caramelize in the pan. Remember, caramelize means to cook sugar until it turns brown. The word reduce, R-E-D-U-C-E. Reduce is a verb. Pronounce it as reduce. A synonym would be concentrate. To reduce means to cook a liquid until it becomes thick. For example, she reduced the sauce by half. Remember, reduce means to cook a liquid until it becomes thick. The word deglaze, D-E-G-L-A-Z-E, is a verb, pronounced deglaze. It means to remove and dissolve the browned food residue from a pan to flavor sauces. For example, after cooking the meat, deglaze the pan with wine or broth. So to deglaze means to use a liquid to remove browned bits from a pan. The word infuse, I-N-F-U-S-E, is a verb pronounced infuse. It means to steep an ingredient in liquid to extract flavors. For example, infuse the tea with mint leaves for a refreshing taste. So to infuse is to soak ingredients in a liquid to bring out their flavors. The word temper, T-E-M-P-E-R, is a verb pronounced temper. It means to slowly raise the temperature of a cold ingredient by adding hot ingredients gradually. For example, temper the eggs by adding a bit of hot milk before mixing them fully into the batter. So, to temper means to slowly mix in hot ingredients to warm up something cold without cooking it. The word proof, P-R-O-O-F, is a verb pronounced proof. It means allowing dough to rise before baking. For example, let the dough proof in a warm place until it doubles in size. So to proof means to let dough rest and rise before baking. The word ferment, F-E-R-M-E-N-T, is a verb pronounced ferment. It means undergoing a chemical breakdown by bacteria, yeasts, or other microorganisms. For example, allow the mixture to ferment for a few days to develop the flavors. So, to ferment means to let food or drink undergo a natural chemical process to develop flavors. The word cure, spelled C-U-R-E, is a verb. To pronounce it, say cure. It means to preserve food by methods like salting, drying, or smoking. For example, we cured the meat to make it last longer. So to cure means to preserve food. The word smoked, spelled S-M-O-K-E-D, is an adjective. Pronounce it as smoked. It means flavored by exposure to smoke. An example sentence is, we had smoked salmon for breakfast. So smoked means flavored by smoke. The word pickle, spelled P-I-C-K-L-E, is a verb. Pronounce it pickle. It means to preserve food in vinegar or brine. For instance, we pickle cucumbers every summer. So pickle means to preserve in vinegar or brine. The word preserve, spelled P-R-E-S-E-R-V-E, is a verb. It is pronounced preserve. It means to maintain something in its original state. For example, we preserve fruit by making jam. So to preserve means to maintain something in its original state. The word can, spelled C-A-N, is a verb. It is pronounced ken. It means to preserve food in a sealed container. For example, we can vegetables to eat during winter. So, to can means to preserve food in a sealed container. The word jar, J-A-R, is a noun. It refers to a container, usually made of glass, used for storing food. Let's pronounce it together, jar. A synonym could be container. For example, she kept the cookies in a large glass jar. So a jar is basically a container we often use in the kitchen. The word freeze, F-R-E-E-Z-E, is a verb. It means to preserve food by making it very cold. Let's say it together, freeze. A synonym could be chill. For example, freeze the leftovers to eat later. So Freeze is what we do to food to keep it good for a long time. The word defrost, D-E-F-R-O-S-T, is a verb. It means to remove frost or ice from something. Let's practice saying it. Defrost. A synonym could be thaw. For example, defrost the chicken before cooking. So defrost is what we do to food to make it usable again after it has been frozen. The word thaw, T-H-A-W, is a verb. It means to warm frozen food so it returns to its normal state. Repeat after me. Thaw. A synonym could be defrost. For example, allow the ice cream to thaw a bit before serving. So, thaw is just like defrosting something to make it ready to eat. The word melt, M-E-L-T, is a verb. It means to change something from solid to liquid by heating it. Let's say it together. Melt. A synonym could be liquefy. For example, melt the butter in the pan over low heat. So melt is what happens when we heat something until it becomes liquid. The word chill, spelled C-H-I-L-L, it's a verb, pronounced chill. Synonyms include cool and refrigerate. For example, please chill the soda before serving. It means to cool down food or drink. The word cool, spelled C-O-O-L, it's a verb, pronounced cool. Synonyms include chill and low temperature. For example, let the cookies cool before eating. It means to lower the temperature. The word sift, spelled S-I-F-T, it's a verb, pronounced sift. Synonyms include filter and strain. For example, sift the flour before adding it to the mix. It means to separate or strain through a sieve. The word strain, spelled S-T-R-A-I-N, it's a verb, pronounced strain. Synonyms include filter and drain. For example, strain the pasta to remove the water. It means to separate liquid from solids. The word rinse, spelled R-I-N-S-E, it's a verb, pronounced rinse. Synonyms include wash and cleanse. For example, rinse the vegetables before cooking. It means to wash lightly with water. The word drain, D-R-A-I-N, is a verb. It means to remove liquid from something. For example, drain the pasta before adding the sauce. It's when you let the water go away from the pasta. To summarize, drain means to take the liquid out of food. The word soak, S-O-A-K, is a verb. It means to immerse in liquid for a period of time. For example, soak the beans overnight. You leave the beans in water for several hours, so soak means to let something sit in water. The word boil over, B-O-I-L-O-V-E-R, is a phrasal verb. It happens when a liquid spills over the edges of the container due to boiling. For example, be careful not to let the soup boil over. This means make sure the soup doesn't overflow. To sum up, boil over means boiling until it spills over. The word simmer down, S-I-M-M-E-R-D-O-W-N, is a phrasal verb. It means to reduce the heat to a low level and cook gently. For example, simmer down the sauce until it thickens. This means cooking it slowly so it becomes thicker. In short, simmer down means to cook slowly on low heat. The word skim, S-K-I-M, is a verb. It means to remove a substance from the surface of a liquid. For example, skim the foam from the top of the soup. You take off the foam floating on the soup. In essence, skim means to take off something from the surface. The word clarify, let's spell it, C-L-A-R-I-F-Y. It's a verb, clarify. It means to make a liquid clear or pure. For instance, clarify the butter before using it in your recipe. It simply means removing any impurities from the butter. To summarize, clarify means to make clear or pure. The word emulsify, let's spell it, E-M-U-L-S-I-F-Y. It's a verb, emulsify. It means to mix two liquids that normally don't mix. For example, emulsify the oil and vinegar for the dressing. This simply means blending the oil and vinegar until they combine. To sum up, emulsify means to mix liquids that don't usually blend. The word thicken, let's spell it, T-H-I-C-K-E-N. It's a verb. Thicken It means to make a liquid more dense. For instance, thicken the sauce by adding flour. This means adding flour to make the sauce less thin. In summary, thicken means to make something denser or less liquid. The word thin, let's spell it T-H-I-N. It's a verb, thin. It means to make a liquid less dense. For example, thin the soup with some more broth. This means making the soup less thick by adding more liquid. To summarize, thin means to make something less dense or more liquid. The word concentrate, let's spell it. C-O-N-C-N-T-R-A-T-E. It's a verb. Concentrate. It means to make a liquid more intense. For instance, concentrate the juice by boiling it. This means making the juice stronger by reducing its water content. To sum up, concentrate means to intensify by making something denser or more potent. The word dilute, spelled D-I-L-U-T-E, is a verb. It means to make a liquid thinner or weaker by adding water or another solvent. For example, she had to dilute the juice with some water. So to dilute something means to make it less concentrated by adding another liquid. The word activate, spelled A-C-T-I-V-A-T-E, is a verb. It means to cause something to start working. For example, you need to activate the yeast in warm water. So to activate something means to make it start working or become active. The word proof, spelled P-R-O-O-F, is a verb. It means to allow dough to rise before baking. For example, let the dough proof for an hour. So, to proof dough means to let it rise and become lighter and fuller before you bake it. The word rise, spelled R-I-S-E, is a verb. It means to increase in volume as a result of yeast or other leavening agents. For example, the bread will rise in the oven. So, when dough rises, it becomes bigger and lighter due to the action of yeast or other agents. The word bloom, spelled B-L-O-O-M, is a verb. It means to hydrate gelatin in water before using it. For example, bloom the gelatin in cold water. So to bloom gelatin means to prepare it by soaking it in water so it can be used in recipes. The word dissolve, D-I-S-S-O-L-V-E. It is a verb. Dissolve. To dissolve means to mix a solid with a liquid until it becomes part of the liquid. For example, the sugar will dissolve in water. Dissolve. The word hydrate, H-Y-D-R-A-T-E. It is a verb, hydrate. To hydrate means to add water to something to return its original state. For example, drink water to stay hydrated. Hydrate. The word evaporate, E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-E. It is a verb. Evaporate. To evaporate means to change liquid into gas. For example, water will evaporate in the sun. Evaporate. The word condense, C-O-N-D-E-N-S-E. It is a verb, condense. To condense means to make something denser or more concentrated. For example, steam will condense into water on a cool surface. Condense. The word crystallize, C-R-Y-S-T-A-L-I-Z-E. It is a verb, crystallize. To crystallize means to form or cause to form crystals. For example, the sugar will crystallize over time. Crystallize. The word flambe. It's spelled F-L-A-M-B-E and is a verb. Flam means to set alcohol on fire in the food. For example, you might hear, the chef decided to flambe the dessert at the table. In summary, flambe is a culinary technique to ignite food using alcohol. The word torch, it's spelled T-O-R-C-H and is a verb. Torch means to use a handheld flame to cook or brown food. For example, you might hear, she used a torch to caramelize the sugar on the crème brûlée. In summary, torch involves using a small flame to cook or finish food. The word char, it's spelled C-H-A-R and is a verb. Char means to slightly burn the outer layer of food. For example, you might hear, they like to char the vegetables on the grill. In summary, char means to cook food until the outer layer is slightly burned. The word brown, it's spelled B-R-O-W-N and is a verb. Brown means to cook food until it becomes brown. For example, you might hear, make sure to brown the meat before adding vegetables. In summary, brown involves cooking food until it turns a rich brown color. The word crisp, it's spelled crisp and is a verb. Crisp means to cook food until it becomes firm and crunchy. For example, you might hear, she likes to crisp the bacon in the oven. In summary, crisp means making food firm and crunchy by cooking. The word crust, C-R-U-S-T, is a noun. It refers to the outer layer of baked food like bread or pie. The pronunciation is crust. For example, the pie's crust was golden and crispy. So in summary, crust means the outer layer of baked food. The word tenderize, T-E-N-D-E-R-I-E, is a verb. It means to make meat softer and easier to chew. The pronunciation is tenderize. For example, marinate the steak to tenderize it. So tenderize means to make meat softer and easier to chew. The word blend, B-L-E-N-D, is a verb. It means to mix ingredients until smooth. The pronunciation is blend. For example, blend the fruits to make a smoothie. So blend means to mix ingredients until smooth. The word purée, P-U-R-E-E, is a verb. It means to blend food until it is smooth and thick. The pronunciation is purée. For example, puree the vegetables for the soup. So purée means to blend food until it is smooth and thick. The word alphabet comes from the Latin word alphabetum, which came from the Greek word alphabetos. Alphabetos, in turn, came from the first two letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha and beta.
Thank you so much for watching this video up to the very end. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button down below. See you very soon. Bye-bye.